To be fair, I haven't seen the film, so I don't want to comment. But I'll tell you something interesting, which you may remember. In 1984, there was a hijacking. I was a very young officer. I was part of the team which was dealing with it. And midway through the hijacking, I realized, not midway, about 3-4 hours, those were the days you didn't have cell phones and all that. So, and I had a small, my son was a few months old. My wife used to work, so it was my day to go back home and feed my son at lunch. Okay. So I rang up my mother actually to tell her, look, I can't come, there's a hijacking. And then I discovered my father was on the flight. Okay. And the flight ended up in Dubai. It's a long story. But fortunately nobody got killed, but it could have ended up wrongly. So I know what, and it was interesting because on the one hand, I was part of the team which was working on the hijacking. On the other hand, I was part of the family members who were pressing the government on the hijacking. So actually, I had that very unique window into the, on both sides in that sense of the problem. So I do understand, often these are situations, and look in movies, movie guys don't make the government look good, then nobody look at the movie. The hero is supposed to look good, not you. So I think we've got to accept that as par for the course. There are people who've been there for a long time, again, I would say roughly half the world's foreign ministers are people like me who were diplomats before they became ministers, and about half would be people who had no foreign policy background and became ministers. When you evaluate people, if you ask me a single, name that one person, I would find it very hard, honestly, to do that, because I would see different strengths in different people. There are people very dogged, there are people very skilled, there are people very charming. So what happens when you go through life, you meet people, you kind of say, okay, I must remember that the next time. So you keep picking up, it's like a self-improvement technique, you can say. So I am in a way ducking your question because there are 193 foreign ministers, you name one, I've just made 192 enemies. I don't think that's a smart move. But honestly, there is, I've really learned from a lot of my peer group and often, like in any business, people sit down and chat and exchange notes. So that's really the way the business works. On the work permit, I honestly don't know. I have the ambassador here. If there is an issue today, I'll take a briefing from him. If there is something we need to do with the Swiss government, I promise you we will. I do want to make one point here today. We are very strongly committed to promoting a global workplace for Indians. We want mobility and migration to be legal. We want students to be given a chance to work. This is very much an important part of our foreign policy, not just in Switzerland, across the world. And it is something, we will apply in equal measure in Switzerland as well.